Hi guys, good morning and welcome back to our video tutorial as we do usually. Um, Yesterday I was not able to send any video because I was waiting for feedback from all the students. Unfortunately, I had only few replies, so I had to wait until I to receive confirmation of at least 80% of the class population. So I am good. We're good to go. Previously, we were talking about static routing, and we today going to talk about dynamic routing and everything around dynamic routing, and the difference between static routing and dynamic routing, and where we need static and where we need dynamic routing, and at some point you need both of them at a particular situation. So we'll talk about that. Uh, so dynamic routing is different from static routing simply because with dynamic routing, the routers operate by themselves and they know about other networks. With static routing, the administrator has to tell the router how to reach a remote network. So that's the difference between the two. So dynamic routing is more of automatic router setup and automatic routers automatically sending updates and informing each other about new updates and all that. So with static routing, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like updates or whatever. Whatever happens, the administrator has to interfere. So that is the difference between static routing and dynamic routing. So we have different categories of dynamic routing. We have two different classes we're gonna get through, and we'll talk about one part that is RIP version 2, and we're gonna I'm gonna make sure that I explain the routing table to you guys, where we have the levels of routing information like the level 1 route, the parent route, child route, and all of that. How do you identify those routes in the routing table? And how router use those route names or route categories to be able to forward to make forwarding decisions. So we're going to talk about all that. So that is dynamic routing. Dynamic routing is a way of routers learning about other networks automatically without administrative intervention. So for example, I have two routers. Now let's take an example. For instance, I have let's just draw two routers here. Let's say I have a router here, like my previous this thing. So I have a router, and these routers are connected. So let's say, for instance, I have a LAN here. I have another LAN here. So like the previous one that we were doing before, I have a LAN here. This is a very simple route, a very simple network. So I have a network here, and I have, for instance, a network here. Those two networks, that one and this one, are directly connected to this router 1, and these other two networks are directly connected to router 2. So you can see this one and this one. But these two networks, or three of these networks, are directly connected to router 1. So therefore, router 1 knows about them. So router 1, for it to know about these other networks, it can be two ways. It's either you have a static routing that administrator uses to manually tell router 1 how to reach these two LANs of router 2, and tell router 2 also how to manually reach these two LANs of router 1. But if this is the dynamic routing protocols that you have configured, maybe RIP, or you have configured OSPF, ISIS, EIGRP, BGP, whatever, those routing protocols are dynamic, and they will make sure that as soon as you configure this router 1 as a, let's say for instance, as an EIGRP, and you configure router 2 as an EIGRP, that's what you need. The rest is done by the routers. This router will tell this router about its LANs, and this other router will tell about this other router its LAN. So that is exactly how it all goes. So the routers will tell each other how to get to each other. So if in case this link on router 2 goes down, router 2 will automatically tell router 1 that the link on my other side to this LAN is out. That means this link is done. So in that case, because it's down, it will update. It will send an update to router 1, telling router 1 that I know that you were always talking to this link, so it's out of date. It's not working today. So it's send an update. But with static routing, if this link goes down, for instance, the administrator has to reconfigure. Or for instance, you have two links between these two routers, and this link is used as the primary link, and you do not have any floating static route. As an administrator with static routing, if this link up here is the one that is used as the primary link and there was no secondary, this is here configured and connected, but it's not secondary. So with static routing, the routers will, these two routers, router 1 and router 2, will not automatically decide to use this link, where because this link goes down. So if there is no floating static route, they will not use this other link unless the administrator go back and configure and say, in order for you to reach these networks, now take this down link. So that's the difference between static routing and dynamic. With dynamic routing, if this is the primary link, if it goes down, the routers will recalculate their link and then choose this other link as the link until the primary link comes up. So that's the difference. So now let's talk about the different types of dynamic routing. We have classes of dynamic routing. We have the interior gateway routing protocols, that is this one, and we have the exterior gateway routing protocols, and that is that. So the interior gateway routing protocols are the routing protocols that are used internal to your network, and external gateway routing protocols are those that are used between your network and the other network. So they work between autonomous system. An autonomous system is an area of the network that is administered by a single administration. Let's say, for instance, with QCell, with Quantum, they have their own single administration. So in that case, they are in a different geographical scope or in a different network. So they have different administrative records or different administrations. So they need an exterior gateway routing protocol. But within QuantumNet or within QCell, I would have to use interior gateway routing protocol because this is within my internal network. Even if I have million routers there, because they are all configured and managed by the same people, the same administration, under the same administration, you would have to use any of the interior gateway routing protocols. So the interior gateway routing protocols comes in two formats. Okay, we have the I think I need to increase this one a little bit. Okay, so we have the distance vector routing protocols, and we have the link state routing protocol. So these are the two types of interior gateway routing protocols. Okay, we have interior and we have we have distance vector and we have link state routing protocol. So the difference between